Welcome to another episode of Random Thoughts from McCrae's Mind, the worst video channel on YouTube, because people will watch anything on YouTube, and this is anything. The Supreme Court's decision to partially end the NCAA's plantation economic system with college football and basketball have led to surprising results already, and the member universities are reeling as the system has begun to come apart at the seams. Courts had previously been big supporters of the NCAA system, but the obvious racial inequalities of the NCAA were too embarrassing for even the Supreme Court to uphold, so the first broadside against the NCAA has been detonated. But this is only the beginning. The SEC has been well ahead of the rest of the NCAA schools and has a system in place for dealing with the new economic landscape and is going all in now on paying its players in an effort to stay on top. Texas A&M, which built its program on illegal recruiting in the 1980s, has seen the chance for a big move and has reportedly established a $31 million fund for paying players, which its $10 million coach Jimbo Fisher denies, saying that recruits just want to go to Texas A&M because it is such a great academic institution and has such a great atmosphere. Money has nothing to do with his number one recruiting class, or so he claims. The new NCAA landscape was best illustrated by the turnaround at Michigan State, where Mel Tucker used his extensive knowledge in cheating under Nick Saban at Alabama and LSU to manipulate the transfer portal in such a way as to produce a surprising 11-2 season. Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney have long been able to cheat at a level previously unimagined in college football, but they now have new competition as the guardrails come off when it comes to paying players. Florida just hired the head coach at Louisiana Lafayette, less so for his coaching ability as for his ability to put in a cheating system similar to Swinney and Saban because he'd been trained by both of them. Meanwhile, Missouri is bringing in a record recruiting class as it obviously is doling out dollars to keep up with other pay-for-profit schools in the league. Boosters from across the country are ready to pony up millions for players to get their universities a winning football team in the increasingly bizarre world of college sports. With professional leagues and NCAA having monopolies on professional sports, we now have the very strange world where an NCAA football or basketball player is actually worth more as a college player than as a professional because the NCAA is operating clandestine professional teams and the monetary compensation has become so distorted as a result. The preferred model of having coaches and administrators siphon off all the revenue and booster money for themselves is quickly coming to an end as boosters make one last grab at coaches by paying $500,000 per starter for a top head coach rather than pay the players directly. This is a model that is unsustainable and will soon be shattered by the school's inability to control player movement. Already, schools are experiencing shocking levels of transfers as players move to where they can get more playing time to get seen by NFL scouts or be paid more under the table. NIL contracts will likely increase transfers as well, as lower-level college players are moved by sponsors to more high-profile universities to improve the chances of a championship run for the SEC and higher revenue programs and increase the level of their NIL contracts and resulting revenue. What the NCAA has accidentally arranged for itself is unlimited free agency, the nightmare scenario for every professional sports owner. The only way now for the schools to get any control of their players again is to put them under contract as employees, and this is already being openly talked about by some schools. However, the schools are still in a lot of denial of what is happening as they are talking about providing lifetime health insurance in a laughable attempt to hold on to the amateur model so that they can make the most money from the system. The university's unspoken agreement of maintaining a professional sports cartel without compensating the athletes and compensating themselves is being ripped to shreds as boosters and universities make early grabs at the millions to be made and games to be won under the ever-increasing free agent landscape. The only way this problem can ever be solved now is to put players under contract, and that will likely come to pass much sooner than many fans or schools suspect. its largely white upper middle class fan base will have a hard time coming to terms with young black players making more than they do when they would have happily played for free themselves. But that adjustment in mindset will not take long, and it will not be too much later that they will be calling for the heads of university presidents and athletic directors for not paying their favorite team's players enough to be competitive. Based on head coaching salaries, we can put a fair value estimate on a major Division I starter at roughly $250,000 to $500,000 in football, and as high as $500,000 to $1 million in basketball. It is likely that boosters will soon learn that paying the players is a lot cheaper than paying coaches $10 million per year. So the college sports world is headed for interesting times. And remember, people will watch anything on YouTube, and this has been anything. Thanks for watching.